Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at my little, well, not so little, but it's my Paphiopedilum parishii. This is a beautiful little species orchid that I bought a few years ago. It's doing really well. You can see it's got a lot of nice new growths and looks really healthy, but today when I was watering it, I noticed it has a little infestation of mealy bugs. Mealy bugs are these little cottony looking bugs. There you go. See that white blop there? And they get all over the plant. There's a big batch. And they have tons of little babies and they just get all over the plant and start sucking the juice out of it. And I found that with certain plants like Paphiopedilums, they're just really difficult to treat. Mostly because you're supposed to try and wipe these guys off or spray them off. And unfortunately, even if you spray them with insecticidal soap, you'll always miss some because you got to turn, like most of these bugs live on the underside of the leaves. So you gotta turn the plant upside down, spray it, turn it right side up, spray it. But in between the leaves here, there's always these little spaces, and that's where they like to bury in down in the leaf there. And even if you spray it, you could spray it as much as you want, but the spray usually doesn't get down there and kill all of the bugs. So I'm going to show you a little tip today because I almost lost a few of my favorite Paphiopedilums. Like I have a really beautiful Paphiopedilum callosum that blooms for me every year, and I think for like 2 years this thing kept just getting mealy bugs, and I think it was just because I couldn't get rid of the ones deep down in those leaf axils. And I was like, how the heck am I going to do this? Because usually, you know, if I get sick of treating insects or something is not doing well, I just throw the plant out. But unfortunately, this was one of my favorite plants. It blooms regularly for me every year, and I just couldn't let it go. So I just had to keep trying to get rid of these bugs and keep it isolated. And I know most of you who grow plants know how annoying it is to isolate a plant and have it in a different area while you treat it for insects. So this is my little trick that I learned, and it works really well for plants like this where there's these little hard to reach areas where you can't get all of the bugs. So I don't use soap anymore. I just find soap, it's good for certain insects, but for these ones I just feel it's better to just get rid of them with rubbing alcohol. So what I do is I just use regular rubbing alcohol. You can buy this anywhere at the pharmacy or whatever, and I just wipe them off as much as I can, and I use a little paintbrush, like a normal paintbrush. And this is really good because it gets down in like those little cracks that are hard to get. So like here, I'm just gonna take the brush and wipe it up and get every single one of those so that they're there on the brush. It's hard to see, but they are there. And then I just dunk them in there. Die. Which that's really easy to do, like on the outside. I mean, obviously you can find them, but the hard part is getting down in there. And what I like about using a brush is that you can just stick it right down in there really deep. And as long as your brush is like dripping with alcohol, like if you stick it in there and you know you got like a little, see how it's like there's drips, you can get that rubbing alcohol really deep inside of there and it just kills them all. So here's some more. We're just gonna wipe them off. And there you can really see them, those horrible little creatures, and dunk them in there. And usually what I do is I just go over all of the leaves, like with my rubbing alcohol. It doesn't hurt the plant. It does a little bit where they're sucking, like you might get some little marks, and you know, I guess you could water the rubbing alcohol down so maybe it doesn't bug the plant as much, but honestly I just find these bugs so hard to treat sometimes that I just go for the full strength and I just put up with the little markings on the leaves because I just want to make sure that they're all dead. Usually I go by, once I know, okay, this plant has mealy bugs, I move it away from all the other ones. I kind of keep it in a dish where, you know, usually I'll fill it up with water so that I'm really paranoid. I don't want the bugs crawling out the bottom and crawling over to other plants. So I usually keep that filled with water once I see that there's like bugs, because then they can't, not that I know of, they can't swim out of there. But anyway, and then I just keep a really, you know, close eye on this plant. I check it up, down, everywhere, in between all the little growths. It may be annoying, but they're just really hard to get rid of. And if you miss even one little pregnant one, it'll just be like, wow, you think the plant is fine, and you put it back in with your other plants only to find that months later, oh, they're there again. Anyway, I found this to be a very helpful way of getting rid of them. This is the only way that I was able to treat my Paphiopedilum and get rid of the mealy bugs, and I've done it now for years with other ones, because unfortunately that is just part of growing, is that you do get bugs on your plants, and some of them are your favorite plants, and you cannot just throw them out, even if, you know, it is a pain to kind of treat them. I would give this a try. It works really well. It just, and it's very simple. Like, all you got to do is just stick, you know, make sure everything is coated with rubbing alcohol, and just make sure that it's like all in there, deep in those leaf crevices, because that's where I find they hide the most. They're usually under, oh yeah, see, like right here, they're usually underneath on the tips of the leaves, and usually they're deep in there as well. So just give your plant a good look. And good luck if you ever have this problem. I hope my little tip helps, and hope you guys have happy growing. Thanks for watching.